Yes, it is Wednesday. It is noon Eastern Time, and this particular Wednesday happens to be Earth Day, so happy and happy Earth Day
Woo!
to all of you out there. Also, those of you still celebrating 420, today is 422. Get it? I stole that from the internet. That's okay. I'm allowed to do that. This is the High Noon Hemp Show. We're on the Hemptations Beach Facebook page, live, of course, also on the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel and on Twitter at Hemptations. The audio podcast can be found on Podbean, Google Play, and iHeartRadio. Just search the High Noon Hemp Show. I am Joe Clare. He is the man himself, beach high above the Hemptations in Sharonville at the Hemp Quarters Beach. How are things in Hemptations land on this glorious Earth Day?
Oh, feeling green and still unseen. No, it's a great day in the history of all the days celebrated throughout the year. I have to say that this is probably the one that I truly feel needs to be celebrated more. But it's one of those things too, and I say this about every other holiday. Feel this way every day.
Yes.
If you woke up today feeling a little extra nice to the planet, then just wake up tomorrow feeling a little extra nice to the planet. And of course, most people that would celebrate Earth Day like we do probably already feels that way. My post today was Happy Earth Day, love it or love it, because that's what it is. A little fun fact: I was born exactly 12 days before the very first Earth Day, um,
Wow.
and so I have been here for all 50. Yes, I know it's hard to believe. Um, and it started on college campuses actually, and it was kind of a spawn. If we really want to go back to some further facts, we have a holiday called Arbor Day, where you are supposed to plant trees. The very first Arbor Day was on my birthday, in the early 30s, I think it was. And so Arbor Day has been around for a while. They moved it again. It was around my birthday because that's when you want to plant stuff most of places at that
Yeah.
point. The northern, it's pretty safe to plant, so I think that's why about the middle of April was picked for the original Arbor Day. um, but then Arbor Day was moved to the fall, and I don't even know where it is now, but I think now it's more of a fall celebration, which doesn't make any sense because the Arbor Day Foundation will give you a free tree um, to plant, which also seems kind of funny to do actually in the fall. But you can do that. You can do that. So anyway, we're here. It's Earth Day. That's what we're talking about. Reason we talk about it is because hemp is so earth friendly, it's hard to believe if you don't know. Again, it doesn't require any herbicides or pesticides except for the CBD. So I think people are gonna, and different areas are doing that. But when it's grown for the food product, when it's grown for the fiber product, when it's grown for any other reason but the new CBD, it doesn't require the chemicals. It's 4 to 6 times stronger than cotton with the fiber, and cotton is the leading polluter of our planet out of all the agricultural crops out there. And so, again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. My goal when we started Hemptations 24 years ago was to replace hemp or replace cotton with hemp. Everything. We're still trying to do that the best that we can. It is a slow process because the cotton industry has had their hands in it for almost 100 years. There was a battle of the machines. Cotton, you had the cotton gin and you had a hemp decortator kind of coming up, and the cotton gin won. It was processing cotton before the hemp decortators kind of came along, and that kind of helped cotton take the lead. Cotton is very labor intensive. Again, largest amount of chemicals for any agricultural crop. Also, the amount of water that I've heard that it takes to make just one T-shirt or something it can't be true because the number's too high. But it just I think it illustrates that there's a lot of water that it takes to make cotton, because it's short little fibers, into fabric. Hemp is long fiber. It's why it's so strong, is because the fiber grows basically from the root to the top of the plant when it's out in the field. And when it's grown for fiber, that can be 15, 20 feet tall in the countries that are um, really doing it right. I've never seen I actually have seen some pictures of some Chinese hemp fields, and the fiber, the fields where they're growing for fiber are huge, 3 times that of a person standing there. And so, and again, China is the leading grower of fiber, hemp fiber, on the planet. Another reason why we need to get more um, American farmers growing for fiber. It's just not where the money is. But that's what we want to do. Think that on Earth Day for to help the earth. That's another reason why we should grow hemp. It's not just something that's great for the products that it produces, but it's great for the earth, and so it's so much better on the conscious if you're a farmer. Corporations, they don't care about the chemicals that they use, but the guy that goes out there and farms his field, even if he has to use these crappy chemicals or buy these genetically modified seeds to get his money, he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it for 1 minute. He's beholden to those companies because they've taken over the farming industry. But you give that guy an option to make, what corn or soy I think would give him, without using chemicals, and it being so labor intensive on the soil, and he would jump at it, and so we just need to convince him it's okay. Again, in Ohio, our regulations and our fees suck. They do not promote Earth Day friendly hemp growing. That is for sure. And so we can only hope, once again, that we'll get to the place where hemp is treated. And I think that's where we'll see more people growing for fiber, or even the grain part of it, which is great for us as well. So because it's so nutritional, and it's not soy, and soy is a protein, is very high in protein. There's question as to whether we actually digest it correctly, okay? And as some of you may or may not know, soy was the first genetically modified crop. This was in the 80s. Roundup was made in the 80s, and so they made the Roundup first, and they made the Roundup for soy, okay? And then the same company that made the chemicals to grow the soy came up with the seed, the genetically modified seed that was even more resistant, which is interesting, made it more resistant to the Roundup. And so, and that's where this whole thing got started. This was in the 80s. And now, like I said, farming is a joke. We're learning. If there's another semi-good side effect of the virus, it's the fact that we're learning that we import a lot of our food from other countries, okay, which is ridiculous in a country that was so farmland ridden until the 80s, until the corporations came in. And this is what the corporations came in. They came in and took over the United States farming, and then they outsourced the rest of it, obviously, to China and and the rest of the world. And again, I'm a one world person. The whole world. This is Earth Day for the whole world. My world is the whole world. I don't hate China because they supply us with a lot of things that we want. I don't, that's not what I'm against when I say things like that. When it comes to farming, though, farming and the foods that we eat, we need to go back to thinking like we did before the corporations got into it, before people that decided what was healthy for us ran the companies that produced the foods that decided what was healthy for us. The fact that they still said it's sugar, it's just, there's just so much milk. Again, dairy milk, it's not made for us. It's still at the top of the list of things we should consume, and we absolutely should not consume it. And so anyway, what a better earth we would be if we were kinder, in that way, honestly. And so, and then you jump to the construction materials that we're talking about as far as being earth friendly, because when it comes to oil, fuel, whatnot, here's the deal: anything you can make synthetically, or you can make from wood, you can make from hemp. So all in all, that means we don't have to drill for oil, and we can stop drilling for oil right now if we can produce enough hemp oil to run the engines and make the plastic components and all of those things that the oil that we suck out of the planet produces. Um, we don't think it's going to be this devastating thing when we suck the planet dry of oil, but I don't know. I don't want to really find out. To be honest with you, hell, we're running out of sand. Ironically, for construction materials, which is huge in the concrete, and I just, a month or so ago was talking about how we could replace that sand with hemp in crete material. Um, and we wouldn't have a sand shortage. I mean, it's hard to believe, but look it up, folks. This is not a conspiracy. It's the truth. We have these deserts, but the deserts are full of sand that don't make obviously as good of construction materials or not or what than some other sand. So anyway, hemp is something that could save the planet there. All the trees that are getting cut down, we could just stop cutting them down. Just stop cutting all the trees down.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine how many acres of trees just got cut down in the world as I talked about it, because someone thinks that they need to make something out of those trees that we don't probably need to make out of those trees to begin with, and B, because those trees aren't protected by anybody. And we've stripped this. There's still a lot of trees in the United States, but we stripped a lot of trees out of the United States. We're doing that all over the world, and we keep thinking that planting new trees is the way. But I think the Earth really liked the old trees the way they were in a lot of places,
Yeah.
where they were just minding their own business in the middle of nowhere, not causing nobody no harm. And I'm sure making a hell of a ruckus when they fell down. Whether you want to believe the old philosophical question, what your answer is to the philosophical question is. But mine has always been, yes, the tree makes a sound when it falls down and there's no one around to hear it.
Yes.
Um, and so, you know, when they're getting cut down with a chainsaw, nobody can hear it fall down because the chainsaw's too loud. But anyway, and so we've got hemp can provide the planet some relief in that way. And again, there's a new hemp company, and I've seen their prices, and we got to get this stuff grown and have so much of it that these prices can compete with the current cut down 100,000 trees in the Amazon and chop them up and ship them to the Home Depot prices, which we're not there yet because hemp is not treated like an everyday agricultural commodity like it should be. Nowhere should it be criminalized in any way. When I say criminalized, I mean having fees that aren't necessary. You don't have a fee to grow corn. You don't need a fee to grow hemp. If you don't need a fee to grow trees, say Christmas trees, you don't need a fee to grow hemp. Even if you're growing wood for just to chop down and make into wood products, it's not going to cost you a fee to do that. And so it shouldn't be that way with hemp. So and that's why I will continue to rant until hemp is treated like I can go down, I can buy some hemp seeds and plant them in my backyard if I want to, grow hemp for whatever I want to in my yard. Until it's treated like that, we are not where we should be with hemp. And so, for every purpose that we can use hemp for is a relief to the planet. And so, when I can tell you we're finding these little things out. I think a lot more people are going to pay attention to what really is going on in our world. Not enough people do that because we're getting down to the facts of finding out what's what and what, and all these things. It's a reality. Um, and so, and hemp can every bit help with the old Earth Day needing help situation. Although it's taking a big sigh of relief right now. There's not as many people out on the roads. I've seen they're talking about watersheds and waterways that are cleaner than they have been for 50, 100 years or so before, probably 200 years before the Industrial Revolution really started to take a toll on the planet. And so, this might be one of the cleanest air Earth days we've had since this whole thing started. Ironically enough, planes aren't flying, cars aren't driving. A lot of places are even just shutting down if they don't feel like they're essential, which is not a lot of places. It's not a lot. It's little bits, maybe. But I really think it's the fact that we're just not out and about. And the planet's like, wow, this is great. People should stay home more. The haters are hating and complaining to the Board of Health about us being open. And so, I know that that's going on. And so they're at home not liking the fact, and I repeat, we're not a CBD store, so we don't fall under the CBD whatever. And, even the vape store. And I think that's who's really complaining, these places. But this is what I find interesting. The places that only opened up, a lot of places that only opened up because of us and trying to take business from us originally, are now upset because they don't even know what kind of business we really are to begin with. Because we're definitely not a vape shop. And so, I truly believe, and I have to get back, and we'll see what happens again, but we have more than one category of essential goods. That's for sure. So anyway, happy Earth Day, everyone. Hemp is what we need. Hemp is why no, I shouldn't say that. I say, I should probably celebrate Earth Day before. I really got into hemp, but the two kind of run hand in hand. And so, we're chugging along. One of the last reminders I can give you, you have till May 1st in Ohio if you do want to get a license for growing or processing. That deadline is May 1st with the Ohio Department of Agriculture. So get in on that if you're going to get in on that. I know it's kind of a weird time because I don't know. I mean, I saw that they said that farm workers would be essential. I was like, who would even bring up the subject that farm workers were not essential? I mean, who would say that? And so, obviously we have to move forward with farming. And I think that this may hurt hemp a little bit because I actually see farming maybe going, some farmers going back to maybe a food product that they feel is more essential to growing than, say, corn or soy that they're just growing because that's what they've always grown. And so, here's to the blueberry farmers and, the kale farmers and you don't hear people, thanking the broccoli farmers because, again, all that stuff is probably imported, ironically enough. A lot of it. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Because there's only certain regions of our country, again, that we can grow these things. And China has a lot of northern latitude, southern latitude, middle latitude. China is huge from north to south. And so, there are regions of China that are probably great for growing large, as big as Vermont regions, that can grow all the blueberries. Places probably as big as freaking Florida that can grow all the citrus. And so we need to support our local farmers. I've always done that. We've tried to do the farmers markets as much as we can. I've always tried to think locally, and in all honesty, that's why I used to shop at Kroger's, because Kroger's produce, their stance was that they would buy as much of their produce products and whatnot locally as they could. That was always the way they were. I mean, I hope that they are still that way when they look at the way they look at things. But that was their policy, and so that's why I supported them. Now we do Aldi's because Aldi's is guaranteeing you all natural or organic products, and so now when I want to, especially with produce and fruits and whatnot, organic should be our standard. It shouldn't be we have to pay more for organic because they're using less. And I know it's a conundrum. I mean, they're not using chemicals, but it is more labor intensive because they're not using the chemicals. I get it, and I'm willing to pay more for that. But we shouldn't have to. It should be standard that when you pick up a piece of fruit or some food, that there were no chemicals used on it, that it was organic. It should be labeled chemicals used if it has chemicals used in it. I mean, that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be that we have to use the word organic or all natural. All produce and things like that should be organic or natural, and then it should have a big sign on it that says chemicals used if we use chemicals on it. Again, we've gotten so used to the way they do it because that's the way they do it that, we need to say more and more until it's back to the way it was before they took over farming. That being said, let's move into the old product spotlight. Once again, happy Earth Day, everyone. Let's celebrate it every day that we can. This is 4 from the store and 1 from my door. Most of these products should still be available in the store for you. The first one is the pasta that we have. Obviously a great food product unless actually it's a great food product if you're trying to avoid carbohydrates, because guess what? The one on the left is 100% hemp. Okay, so that's 100% hemp pasta. And so what you're getting is a lot of protein. So if you eat a good chunk of that particular pasta, you're going to get a lot of protein. I also just recently, I'll bring that up later, but I also saw zinc. We can add zinc to the list of things that hemp seed's great in. But you got your omega-6, omega-3, perfect ratio, high in that, and so a lot of other things. And if they use the whole seed, which I'm not sure they do, maybe they do, they probably do, then you've also got fiber, a decent amount of fiber in that. And so talk about a survival food. Stock up on that stuff. Put that in the cupboard. It's thick, it's hearty, it's protein high. I just can't believe anyone would try to say, especially the health department would try to say that we should be closed because we don't sell it, because we, no, go down to the Walmart where you've got people that are not adhering to the rules of the game and get some crappy, not good pasta. Again, it just crushes me what people think. The next one I'm showing, the Merry Hempsters CBD infused balms, because we just got a fresh batch of these in and we cannot keep this stuff in stock. It is very well priced, for one thing. And again, it's a rub-on balm, and so we're seeing a lot of customers seeing, I think, a lot of success with the muscle rub with the CBD, obviously, and then the one with the arnica, the muscle rub there too. And so I think one's the hot, so it's probably cinnamony smelling and has the other ingredients that they have in their hot rub, because all these are products they already carry. They just added CBD to them, and they were popular products before they added the CBD. And so this is just kind of a bonus to what they're doing. And so all our topicals, again, are things that you should have in your medical cabinet. In these days of essential needs, when you can't just, you don't want to just run out and get something, if you've hurt yourself at home because you're staying at home, you still need these type of things. The next one is the line of Aspen Valley, and this is dry herb with the CBD, high in CBD. We've got a couple different strains, as they like to call them in the cannabis world. Again, less than 0.3% THC, but high in CBD, um, is for flower. And one of my employees has raved about using this. If you're a smoker, not that we're encouraging smoking anything, and I do not encourage smoking anything, but if you would like to get your CBD in this form, um, I know that one of the employees has approached me more than once and said that he has found a lot of relief with his anxiety using this, and so give it a try if that's what you're looking for. And again, I think that hopefully, especially if you still smoke tobacco, because you need to quit that right now, this could help you ease off of tobacco because you get that craving, and then I think that you'd get the smoking cessation. No euphoric value. You don't have to worry about getting a buzz. And it would help calm the brain from having the nicotine craving. Um, Again, not a doctor. This is just how I feel like it should work. You guys can, I'm sure there are plenty of customers out there that can let me know. And some of them, just like that have told us that, so anyway. And the last one these are kind of new, but these are the zigzag hemp papers. And so if you roll your own, or you want to roll up the Aspen Valley CBD flower in a hemp uh, um, paper, then here you go. Good old classic zigzags made with organic hemp. And check those out if you are so inclined to. Once again, it's just a cleaner version. Not encouraging smoking anything, but it's a cleaner version because they're organic. And so I can, what makes a rolling paper not organic? You should question that. Once again, there are some things in our world that should just be organic if they can be, and there should be no question that they're organic as they can be. And so there you have it. There's 4 from the store. Now, the one from my door, which actually sits on my desk, but I have had for, I don't know, probably 10 years since I bought my first iPad. But this is a very old iPad case. I'm pretty sure I found it on eBay. But it's really was made well because you could take the buttons on the back if you see them, and then when it was laid out right, you could angle it, and then you snap the button, and then the screen could be at a certain angle, 5 different angles or so. But it's still around, still holds the iPad that I have on my desk. It's got a card holder, and you can put papers and stuff in there as well. And I carried this around, it was my iPad for a long time out, and now it just sits here and holds my iPad. So that is a part of my hemp collection forever and ever. Whether I have an iPad or not, I suppose it goes in the museum after I'm not using it. So there you have it. On the product spotlight, 4 from the store, 1 from my door. And we're chugging along. Again, everyone is doing what they're doing in the stores. We mark the floors in some of the stores so people stay away from each other. There's not a whole lot of people that are coming out. We had the slowest 420 since we've had for stores for sure, and probably in 10 years. And I'm so glad with that, to be honest with you. I'm happy about that, because what that proves is that even our customers, are the people that wanted to come in to Hemptations to celebrate 420, didn't, just because they could. And so I think that, again, the only people that were really coming out for the most part are the people that were coming out for those essential products. And that's kind of where we are, and so, we're going to keep doing what we're doing until they put chains on the doors, even if we have to keep the doors locked to make sales, we will. Honestly, we'll go straight carry out. I don't, I don't. Anyway, um, and so now, how about
I
Earth
know
Day? Where
a lot of you are still getting dressed. For some of you, getting dressed is just a memory of something you used to do and hope to do again someday, or at least have a reason to do someday. But whether you have a memory or actually do it, getting dressed is important for everyone. And if you like hemp clothing and you like to know specifically what one person is wearing on Wednesdays, well, this hits everything. Everything is encompassed in this segment. It's the beachwear segment. We ask the most important question of the day. What are you wearing beach?
it's a semi thought out outfit because it is a green and brown theme. Nothing says Earth to me more than green and brown. Um, And so, on the top there, we've got the Satori Movement grassroots hat. It's got the little mountain range on it. Very kind of apropos to the Earth Day motif of things. Got my hemp hoodlamb jacket and also a hemp hoodlamb tee that we've printed here. The Orvis jeans. If you don't know about the Orvis line of hemp pants, learn about that. If you look closely in my pocket there, you will also see my Green Springs Technology hemp pen, which I carry just about everywhere I go out in public every day. Got the Hempest boxer briefs. Check out their website. They've got a full line of clothing and whatnot, all based around hemp. And if it's the soap people, then there's two. There's the Hempest one and the Hempest something, but one's clothing, one's I believe soap. The socks with the brown and green socks there also come from Satori, and my Nikes, very very limited wear. These are a part of the Nike SB Dunks 6.0 hemp line. Very, very rare shoe. I don't wear them very often, but going with the green and brown theme for Earth Day, and it hasn't rained in the last couple days, and so I am a shoe freak. I apologize for that, folks. I do have quite the collection of shoes, and I try to treat them all with love and care, except for the ones that I know are going to get dirty. I got boots and stuff, and I don't care about that stuff. But anyway, I suppose any excuse that I can to wear these Nikes out. And again, these are, I guess, at least 10 years old, maybe 15. And so, Nike produces hemp shoes every year. They usually drop them, a couple of them around 420, and then they're gone almost instantly because they're limited and they're made out of hemp and they're related to 420 a lot of times as far as when they're released. And so there you have it. If it's Earth Day, celebrate Earth Day. If you've got some green and brown in your closet, doesn't necessarily have to be hemp, but we love it when it is. Now you know what I'm wearing for Earth Day. Anyway, good stuff. Good stuff. It's true.
Or plan for next year's Earth Day.
It
Whatever.
is true.
Things are
Yeah,
a little less weird.
Get out there. That's right. Get out there and start shopping for next year's Earth Day. Everything Earth Day related will be on sale tomorrow. I wish that was true. 423 would be my favorite day to shop on the planet if that was actually true.
Decorations.
All the Earth Day decorations are 50% off. Oh, I dream of a world that Earth Day is that big. I dream of a world that Earth Day is that big. Although that's kind of a waste because I wouldn't buy Earth Day decorations because that's anti-Earth Day unless they're made out of hemp or some, all natural. Even then, you got to have a waste not, want not kind of attitude, I think, to truly embrace Earth Day.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of news.
Decorations.
That's right. That's right. You can just go hug a tree. That's right. Your tree in the front yard, Earth Day decoration. Got some flowers, Earth Day decoration. Oh yes, And actually, I will have to say that we are. I think that the weather is good um, right now, so we do have some nice Earth Day decorations out in nature
Indeed.
to be enjoyed. Even though it's a little chillier than it should be here, the flowers are coming out, and nature is trying to break free. It's true. It's true. Um, First and foremost, I did want to mention, and I posted this. If you go to the Hemp History page on Facebook, um, and I did post this. I shared this on the Hemptations Beach. Now I may, if I'll find it again and share it again, maybe. But they posted a post called "Hemp Oil, Hemp Seed Oil," and it has a ton of sources on the subject. And so they have gone through an immense amount of trouble to put a lot of um, um, sources in a list for you to go and do your own research. And so, it is an amazing amount of educational material to go and endure. And again, I did post that. So if you go to the Temptations Beach page, look for the hemp history post that's called Hemp Oil, Hemp Seed Oil. And again, I'll try to repost that in the next little bit or so. So everybody can take a look at that if they want to. And it will always, and again, the Hemp History is a Facebook page. And so if you're watching us later and you're on Facebook, go find the Hemp History page and then find that post, Hemp Oil, Hemp Seed Oil. Unbelievable amount of resources. And of course, our boy John up in the New England area, he brought it to my attention, and I want to bring it to yours. And speaking of him, he has a new. I posted this right before the show, so this is the last thing I posted on the Temptations Beach Facebook page. Was his blog? It was shared at his blog where he calls the agricultural restrictions on hemp Catch 422, which I think is great. If you know anything about Earth Day and the Catch-22 thing and all of that, I think that is a great. I may steal that from him and use that, giving him full credit, of course. And so, John, keep up with the education. Go read his blog, Catch 422. I'm sure that you will learn some things about hemp farming and the stupid restrictions and dumb things that all that's going on with it. As much as I talk about how it is, there as well. I'd almost guarantee it. French Girl Organics, which they have a nail and cuticle oil, and a quote from the description is packed with natural ingredients, including hemp seed. And so, ladies, I know everybody's at home and nobody can get out and do their nails. And so I'm sure you can find French Girl Organics online. And again, it's just kind of it just has, I believe, oils in it that are good for strengthening your nails, which if you want to do all naturally is a great idea to begin with. Just found a top 5 list of foods if you're looking for zinc. I mentioned it earlier. And apparently 2 tablespoons of hulled hemp seed delivers 20% of your daily value of zinc needed. And so that's not a whole lot of hemp seed. And also you will be surprised as to how much protein you'll find in that. I know that I have seen hemp seed related diets where you basically take, just probably a couple tablespoons periodically throughout the day. And what it does is, it suppresses the appetite because it is so high in protein and so many others that it makes you feel less hungry. And, there's no fat. I don't believe. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. There's got to be some fat. There is some fat. But, it's got to be much healthier for you. That I can guarantee. And so another thing to add to the list, zinc. as to why hemp seed or hemp food is in fact good for us um, as well. I'll say it again and again and again and again. A new book I just saw coming out called It's a book called Medieval Clothing and Textiles 16. It was written by Netherton and Owen Crocker, and it has a discussion on medieval cultivation of hemp for use in textiles in Sweden. And so I think there's probably a lot of research or well-advised discussion material in there if you're interested in that. And I did want to remember, and I'll get the information. I should know more about this, but Doug Fine's book is out. His newest hemp book is out, and I'm flaking on the title right now. I should know. We may or may not. I may or may not be quoted in the book. I did submit a quote to him for the book, but I don't know if he ever told me that it actually got in the book or not. And so go out there, Doug Fine. He has authored a couple different
American Hemp Farmer, Adventures and Misadventures from the Cannabis Trade.
I think maybe that's it. I think that might be it.
It's the one
I feel like
on
that
his
might
Twitter,
be it.
American Hemp Farmer.
Probably. He's got a couple now. His first one's been out for a while. The second one was actually printed on hemp. It was kind of it was more of an 8.5 by 11-ish shape book, and then this one just dropped. So I'm sure that's probably it. I'm sure he's promoting the newest book everywhere, and I'm pretty sure you can go to his website and information. I'll try to put a link on our website, hemptations.com, to his website. We like to support what he does. I've shared a stage with Doug on occasion, and he has been a voice of hemp that has been, getting listened to, I should say, national attention, so to speak. And so I love that guy. Support him by buying his newest book, Doug Fine. I like to call him Doug Mighty Fine. But that's just my nickname for him. All right, yeah, I think that's what we had. I didn't have any questions this week. And as always, again, you can go to hemptations.com. There's links there to shop and stuff to explore if you want to. I don't have any events there, as you know, right now, because most of the events on the entire planet have been canceled. There are no events. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I just lied. Oh, man. I meant to post this as well, but the NOCO people are actually doing a virtual Earth Day hemp free video something. That was a terrible, terrible way to put that. I cannot say how terrible it was, and I cannot believe. I'm glad that I remembered to bring it up because of not having it on my list, because it is an event and it is going on virtually. And I really wish that I will put a link to that up on Facebook just as soon as I can find it. And I think I already did, actually, to the Hemptations Beach page, put a link to this event that is going on virtually, and it is for free. You have to go register, but it is free. Okay. Whew. All right. That being said, thanks everybody for watching live on Twitter, Facebook, or the Jedi Hemp channel on YouTube. And thanks for watching later if you do watch later. Enjoy the podcast, which is available out there on all the places that we can find it. Celebrate Earth Day today. But, if you're out and about today, yell across the parking lot to someone, Happy Earth Day. It can use all the support it can get. you know, normally, it wouldn't be so difficult, but it can get all the support we can get. And I would normally this Saturday actually, and it obviously was killed. I would have been at Cincinnati Earth Day at Summit Park doing my presentation, which I cannot do, obviously, because it is not going to happen. And so I usually that's one way to, and I think that's what Earth Day is about, and that's what Earth Day should be about. What I'm doing right now, educating as to why we need an Earth Day. Let the kids know we got to celebrate this at least once a year to remind them why we need to celebrate Earth Day every day. That for sure. And so thanks everybody for being here on Earth Day on the High Noon Hemp Show. I am Beach. That is my partner in crime over there, Joe. We are out of here. And as always, reduce, reuse, recycle, make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations.
See you all next week. Stay safe.